Hello everyone, Michael Mechanical here, and today I'd like to share what I've been working on since yesterday, and there's various reasons why. I'm working on my first triple overhead racks for working purposes. Now, a reason why I need them now is because we're getting solar panels on the roof, and those skylights in the shed are going to go, so I need somewhere to put the sheets. Now, they'll fit on the tray in a sort of, I don't even know what that is, the angle, but a 45-degree angle to the headboard. But we're not going to do that. We're going to actually put them on the roof itself, and then we're going to load it up. We're going to actually put them on the roof itself, and then we're going to load it up the straps. So there's a lot of things planning to do with this. So what we've got is we've got cuts in the tray, and we've also got this white line. The white line runs across all the way, so it's like a guide. It's not perfect, but it's a guide. And what we do with that is it tells us where we're going to cut. And so we've cut out holes. Now, this was the first one my dad marked up, because he's helping me, because he wants these sheets and he needs them. So he has to help me. So anyway, I cut his hole out that he marked up, and that's how it came out. And then I had to do the second one a bit differently, and it came out like this. And it was tight in this spot here. It wouldn't fit the tube, and then I just hit it with the grinder a little bit, and voila. There's my grinder. And so what we got here is 30 by 30 by 3mm thick walls tube, and then I put this in here, and that's what it does. It drops straight in. It's got a little bit of play, that's okay. It'll tighten up once we get the bolts in. Now, unfortunately, I have to go back to the shops. These are for another purpose, but these were the intended bolts. They are exactly the right length I need, except the catch-20 is they're not long enough. So, because of where we're putting the tubes and everything, there's actually going to be a bolt coming through this C channel, this C section. And the problem with that is, if we go through the C section with a bolt, there's going to be about 3, 4, 5mm of material where it's going to offset the bolts by. And because this is for 40mm, the tube is 35. We've only got 5mm left for a nut to go on the end. And if we take away another 3, there's only 2. So 2 will hold it, but this is actually not a very good bolt for the job because it's not round. And so it should really just line straight up and not have thread on it, because when this thing goes up and down, which it's not going to be a problem, there's going to be a set height, which is going to be this thing, which will set the height. So what we do is we're going to put this on here, and then we're going to weld it to the set height. This will then drop into here and then stop at the set height, like that sort of thing. Even though it's not welded, that's the idea. So that's what we're going to do. And this is lining up to nothing at the front. I was aiming for that one, but Dad made me do it here because it was most structurally the best spot, point under the tray. Actually, we were talking about it a lot, and it took us hours and hours and hours to figure out we're going to do it here, because we first of all were intending to put it in the corners, but that's impossible since there is a support rail underneath which is solid, and there's no way to weld here under the tray. So we had to make a decision, and that's why we have this line here, because that support rail is right there underneath. So cutting it here, we've got the support rail, and we have the side C channel here, and then we got this, and we can weld it all in place. Good news, E-Track's been working wonders for me, and I'm happy with it. I brought out some 1.6mm square tube that's about 15mm this way, and I was planning on using that with the long bolts at the front. And what the plan was, I'm losing track of the rear rack, but this is all cool stuff, because we just made the new one because of the head. The reason we made this headboard here higher and used the original holes and made some new ones is because the roof here got scratched up at one of the job sites, and so they put a big thing on here and it scuffed it, and it really ticked me off. I ended up cleaning the roof, painting it, and being happy with it. You can see there's a bit of discoloration, different color, because I painted it because it got scratched up. So I made this up to stop that from happening ever again, because there's a gap between here, and this is lower than the roof. So I had to do that because of what was going on. Okay, so that's that. Sack truck. Okay. So, we're planning to build a bit of a bed slash cage here, which will hold this, which attenuates too much, to the headboard. And the cage is going to act like a bed, so things can lay on it, you can sit boxes on it. It won't be strong enough to take a whole load, it won't take a pallet or nothing, but what it will do is it will hold boxes. And I'd say the bed would take about 50 to 100 kilos. But it's designed so the weight is meant to be here, not on the bed. So if you put weight in the center, this thing is going to flex and bend. The idea is to support things across and keep it balanced and even weight. So we don't have enough material for it, but the good news is we have an 8-meter length of material right here. Unfortunately, I don't think I did it right when I brought this piece of material home, which is 8 meters long. My wheelbase on the vehicle is 3 meters, and the overhang is from here and 600 mil out the rear. So about there is the maximum. I had it going out even further, about here. So that was a problem, but I still put flags on there because I knew those rules, but I didn't know, I wasn't really sure if I got the rules right or wrong. I'm still going to do some more research into that because here we are, and then 1.8 this way is the max. So 1.8, this is a lesson that most people, well, a lot of people might know, might not know. I'm going to try. This is actually tight. This is an interesting lesson to learn, and then you'll see with your own eyes that this is the legal, not legal overhang. So I'm going to put this here. Come on. Pull up to 1.8. Actually, that E-track there is about right. So 1.8 is the max from the wheel. So about where the E-track is there, this is the maximum I can go distance. And I was actually 1.8 out the rear. So I was out here with my material. So that was maybe, if I'm okay, if it's not illegal what I did, then that's good. But if it was, I made a mistake. I won't be carrying 8 meters again. I just needed it for this with the tight budget I've got. And that's why I don't really make videos, is because tight on time, tight on budget, tight on everything, and trying to improve so that I can afford stuff. So, yeah. This is going to be hopefully done today. I've got to pick up some sheets maybe tomorrow, as well as work. And hopefully these will actually pay off. They will hold a good 500 kilos across the top. I reckon they'll take, the middle one will definitely take 500. The front one will take maybe 200, even though it's too strong looking. But that's because the front one is a bit dodgy, which is why I've got to be careful of how much that loads. I would try not to put 200 on the front until I know that that's going to hold the weight. The middle one will take 500 because that's solid, and the rear might take about 500 as well, because it's going to be nice and solid at the rear, except it's going to still have flex in it because you can't exactly lock things up. It's not exactly a solid structure until the bolts go inside. Anyway, I think that's about it we can talk about. These are not actually going to get used, which is cool, because now I've got spare material we can do anything we want with. Because we're going to do one for the middle, one for the rear with this. But it's just too heavy. Way too heavy material. And it will push the weight up of the vehicle so much that I don't even need it. The weight that's going to go on them, the weight of them, everything, it's not viable. I'm looking for viability. I've got viability. I'm working towards it. So anyway, guys, I think that's about all I should do for the video. I got my stuff. I got a lot of cleaning to do. I got to try and get over this exhaustion, and then I got to hopefully get enough rest so I can do work tomorrow. I've only got a meter of this stuff. Now, the guys that I bought this material from are open Saturdays and Sundays. So if I wanted to, I could get some more material today. And they did me a really good deal with what I've got. Actually, I don't even think it'd be nice. It wouldn't be right for me to really tell you how much I paid. But that length is still cost around $50, including that piece, and that's all I will really say. I mean, that looks impressive. 8 meters of material for $50. Actually, it's 9 meters of material for $80. That's, to me, is pretty impressive. I'm happy with that deal because I needed it yesterday, so I got it yesterday, and I ordered it Friday, Thursday, something like that-ish. Yeah, I ordered it Friday or Thursday. I'm pretty sure I ordered it Thursday, actually. But anyway, guys, I'm going to have to end this video. I've jibble-jabbled on for long enough, and I got to get back to work. So thank you all for watching. See you later.